YouTube family, we are back in the building for another episode of Marv's Room. Listen, I wanted to hop on here today to remind you guys, this video is a reminder of this LOA stuff is supposed to be fun. All of this LOA stuff that you're doing, techniques, whatever your routine is, the daydreaming, the living in the inn, whether you're doing it mentally, whether you're doing it physically, living in the inn and doing things around, your house or whatever, making space for whatever you want to come in. Bottom line, whatever you're doing, you're supposed to have fun with it. You're supposed to remain as children, supposed to be having a good time. If you're doing this LOA stuff and it's feeling like a job, it's becoming stressful, you're making yourself even worse than before, you're creating anxiety. It's not supposed to feel like any of that. And I think we got to get back to the basics and we got to be like children. When children are young and when children are pretending, because all manifesting is, in my opinion, for adults is basically the same as kids. We got to go back to that time when we were children and we have to pretend the way kids were pretending that they were in a cardboard box and the cardboard box was a spaceship, or the cardboard box was actually a car and they were driving it. We got to get back to that kind of level as adults. We have to get back to that level of having fun with things, because right now, a lot of you watching this video, you're probably in a space, and understandably so. I'm not taking nothing away from you guys. Everybody's at their own journey, and I understand that you may feel the type of way that you feel, and you have every right to feel that way. But I would just say don't sit in that feeling too long, because obviously as the momentum picks up, as the vibration increases, the attraction increases, and you're going to continue to attract that feeling state that you are currently in, because that's what you're continuously assuming on a daily or weekly basis. We got to get back to that point to where we're like children. When children pretend when they're young and they're playing around and they're pretending, their treehouse is a cave, or like I just said, the car scenario when you're in the cardboard box, or whatever it is, when kids are in these situations, they're not stressed. They're literally having fun. They literally go in their boxes, they pretend that they're cars or spaceships or whatever they pretend it is, and then they drop it and they go to the next thing. They might go and start playing video games, but they don't go around the rest of the day like, oh man, I was just pretending that I was in my car. Where's my car? No, because they know they're just pretending. They know that they're having fun with it. And like I said, as adults, get back to that point. Back to that point to where you stop taking LOA so serious. Back to that point to where you stop stressing over if you miss 2 days in a row of not doing your affirmations or living in the end scenes. Stop beating yourselves up. Understand that life is a marathon. Life is not a sprint. And understand that you'll get what you want at the right time. Understand whatever feeling state that you're in right now, this time, this feeling too shall pass. It's never lasting unless you just decide to not do the work, or unless you are unaware of the work that you need to do on yourself. Because the only thing that I believe that can stop you from growing is when you don't know that you have a problem you need to fix. When you're unaware of that, or you're around it constantly, stuff that's toxic or whatever the case may be, and you don't know, then that's the time that I can say, okay, yeah, that person is stuck. That person is not growing. That person is not gonna grow. But if you're watching videos like this, you're already ahead of the game, because you're getting educated and you're learning, oh, I need to fix something in my life. I need to fix a certain area in my life. I need to heal this past. I need to heal this part. I need to fix this relationship. I need to let that relationship go. So as long as you're watching and consuming this video or videos like it, any self-help content, you're automatically on the right path. And it's just a matter of time, literally, before you get better and you start to see life changes. But to release the resistance, I firmly believe one of the ways to release the resistance around everything that you're going through in LOA is to simply have fun. Have fun. Have fun. It's that simple. Literally, it's that simple. Have fun. This is not a job. This is not a 9 to 5. This is not I need to meditate for an hour every day. This is a matter of where are you at? Don't compare your journey to anybody else's journey. If you can do your stuff today, have fun with it and do it today. If you can't, don't beat yourself up. Go to tomorrow. The next day tomorrow comes and you still feel like, oh, I'm not in a place, then don't do it. Maybe the next day after that, you'll feel a lot better. Don't beat yourself up over feeling like you have to do certain things, because what I'm finding in working with people is I'm finding that a lot of people are getting exhausted with trying to manifest. They're getting exhausted And basically getting exhausted, in my opinion, it comes from a couple of things. One, which is what I've been saying throughout this whole video, is where it comes from. But two, getting exhausted, it comes from a lack of patience. It comes from the fact that you've been affirming for a week or maybe 2 or maybe a month, maybe whatever the case, and you haven't seen results which you want to see, so you're getting frustrated, so you think it's not working, so therefore you start getting exhausted because you think, oh, I'm doing affirmation 7 day a week and I don't see movement. There's always movement. There's always, even when you don't see movement, movement is still happening. Nothing sits still. There's always movement. Just because you can't see it and you so-called don't have evidence of the movement, there's always movement. Things are always happening, and it's just a matter of time before that shows up in your real world. But what happens a lot of times is people have the propensity to focus on what they don't see versus what they do see. And this is something I've talked to clients about religiously. I've talked to clients religiously about the fact that they're constantly looking at all that is not instead of looking at all that is. And when you start to keep score on what is, and when you start to keep score on all the manifestations that have happened in the past already versus the new ones in your current reality that are currently happening, you start to realize, oh wow, things are really actually working in my favor. I actually am manifesting a lot of stuff. I didn't realize it. But see, you didn't realize it because your energy is so focused on whatever it is that you want that you don't have. And whatever you focus on is what grows. So you're focused so much on that lack that you miss out on everything else that you do currently have and are currently enjoying and are currently manifesting. You know, and this is like a situation where, like, I'll have people that I work with, and you know, they want this specific person so bad, and they feel like, oh, I've been affirming for a month and nothing's working out for me, or I've been affirming for 2-3 months, nothing's working out for me. But then they'll turn around and they'll say something like, yeah, this guy tried to talk to me, and oh, this girl tried to talk to me, and this happened and this happened. But they're so focused on what they don't have, they're missing all of it. And I'm telling them, I'm like, yo, the fact that all of these people are coming up to you, talking to you, is evidence that what you want is getting closer. It's evidence, but you don't look at it as evidence because you've been trained to look at it like, oh, if it's not what I want, then that must not be it. It's not getting closer. But the more you focus on the positives, you know, coming into your experience, the more that it's going to happen, the more that you're going to see, oh, and then the next thing you know, boom, your specific person shows up. You know, those little things. So, like I said, I just want to hop on here today, man, tell you guys, you know, have fun with this stuff. Everybody's at a different pace. Everybody has their own journey. I believe all of us will win in the end. We just don't realize it. We just don't see it because we're so caught up in the moment. And a lot of times, as they say, when you're in the moment, when you're the one in the story, you can't see it. But people on the outside, they can see it. They can see where you're doing good, where you're doing wrong. This is why it's important a lot of times to get a coach or a mentor or somebody to work with, is because they can see your mistakes. A lot of times when you're in the middle of the game or you're in the middle of the action, you can't see your own mistakes that you're making. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to click the next one because I'm sure you'll enjoy that one too.